Welcome to the fantasy draft room. This is our week 4 starts of the week. We do this in a fun, fantasy draft room fashion. So we have a competition. Cody, what happened week 3 for us?
What happened in week 3 was we both sucked, but you sucked a little bit, or I sucked a little bit less than you, more than you. But good.
Yeah.
Just like this, it sucked. Sam Howell, coming out here and throwing 4 INTs, didn't see that one happening. That looked like he turned back into a little bit of a pumpkin after being kind of the Cinderella at the ball the first couple of weeks. None of the running backs did good. Josh Kelly looked like the traditional Josh Kelly instead of a starter Josh Kelly, unfortunately. Zay Flowers, I've been riding for a while, and McLaurin had a good game, but no, it was bad all across the board on my side. You at least got the DeAndre Swift pick right, though, and the Geno Smith didn't get you less than 5 points, so it was pretty hard to lose after that one. 55.94 to 48.40 points.
Hunter Henry was due for a clunker, and I knew it was going to happen when I picked him. Again, you're looking for double-digit points out of a lot of these guys. These are outside the top 24 picks. So when you're looking at these skill positions, and that's really what it comes down to, and outside of top 12 and tight end. It is a little bit tougher to figure it out. DeAndre Swift had a good game, no touchdowns, which kind of crushed that big upside. Geno Smith had a good performance, just not great. So it was just one of those kind of average games for both of us. But again, we're going to do better week 4 here. I already feel it. I got to pick first last week, so you get to pick first this week. So let's dive into what our week 4 is going to look like for our starts at quarterback.
Yeah, I do get the start this week, and we have been 4 for 4. Whoever has been picking first has been the winner in both the sit shows and the start shows so far. So maybe you can try to reverse course on me this time, but I don't think so because we've got the dimes. We've got the Daniel Jones is going to be my start of the week. The Seattle Seahawks are giving up 339 passing yards per game over the first 3 weeks of the season. And I think finally, maybe for 4 quarters, this team can finally put it together. Unfortunately, in Sleeper, you cannot type dimes and get Daniel Jones, but there he is, Daniel Jones popping up on the board as my start of the week. I think he can actually throw against this team, use the legs a little bit. Let's get him a rushing touchdown as well. Come on, I need a top 8 performance out of Daniel Jones, please.
Need a top 8 performance out of him. Yeah, no, I mean, it was I do like that pick. I think this is going to be a good opportunity for Daniel Jones to get, kind of a get right game in a sense. So I do think everything's going to look better. I don't know how great it will be because of what's going on around him. So that is, I guess, a big concern. I am going to go, and I am actually going to I'm going to stick with the same game, man. I'm just going to stick with Geno Smith going up against those New York Giants. Giants defense isn't great. They're middle of the pack when it comes to their defensive rating so far this year. I believe they're like dead in the middle in terms of pass defense. But if Danny Dimes is going to be throwing the ball around or running around scoring touchdowns, I do think the weapons in the Seattle offense are going to be good enough to put up, if I can get 3 passing touchdowns out of him, I'd be stoked. Maybe give me 2 in a rushing. Come on, Geno. So yeah, that's
He
what I'm
doesn't
looking for.
deserve the rushing touchdowns. Dimes needs a rushing touchdown. Come on. No, but this is I mean, the reason we're picking both these guys, I think it's the 3rd highest over under on the week. It should be a high scoring affair. It's a primetime game on Monday night though, so it'll probably disappoint us all in some spectacular fashion.
Right.
All right, but let me get the running backs up here and pick my start of the week at running back outside of this top 24. And the first one that I'm going to go with is a guy, it's a little bit close to the line, but it's going to be Dameon Pierce is going to be my first one going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers rush defense that has not looked great over the first 3 weeks. Dameon Pierce finally got a little bit back on track, scoring his first touchdown last week. And the Houston Texans have actually been very good, mostly on the arm of CJ Stroud. But I think this rush D could get to, or the pass rush D could get to Stroud a little bit, maybe have them lean a little bit more on the run. Dameon Pierce, I just think he's too good of a running back. Hopefully the line can get a little bit healthy and get some guys back too, potentially. So hopefully this line can figure it out. Dameon Pierce can have a good game. He's a much better runner than what he's shown over the first 3 weeks. I just hope he can continue the touchdown streak. Falls in again, I think he's worthy of a start in the top 24.
Yeah, I do like that pick. Again, you're just looking purely at matchups. My only concern with Damian Pierce is that offensive line. That offensive line has just been beaten up all year long. I do have my concerns about them being a formidable unit against the Steelers. It could be tough sledding, but we shall see. So I'm good with that one. I'm gonna this one here. I feel like I just have to do it, and I'm just gonna ride with it, and I'm gonna take Devon Achane. I mean, how
Yep.
can you not take the guy that just had 230 yards and 4 touchdowns? How can I not take that guy? I know the Bills' run defense is a little bit better than at least better than the Broncos or the Steelers. They're about middle of the pack as well. I just I just need one, right? I just need a broken run from Achane, and if they are going to give him they're going to have to give him some run after what happened last week. Like they're going to have to give him an opportunity this week. There's no way you can go out there and give him 19 touches or 20 touches and then the following week drop him down to 8 or 10. I would be absolutely shocked. So, love to see some double digit touches, get him in that 15 range and let's see if Devon Achane can smash yet again.
It's honestly kind of disrespectful for me with an A&M flag hanging behind me that I didn't pick him.
I was
Obviously, a little bit of low hanging
yeah,
fruit. You probably thought I was going to take him.
dude.
25th on the board out of 24. We were able to pick him. Wanted to go a little bit different though. I'm going for the hometown Texans this week instead of the hometown A&M kid. But I mean, he should. There's another week. This is his last guaranteed week without Jeff Wilson on the field as well, and so it'd be nice to see what the rookie can do alongside of Raheem Mostert. Obviously, you're not expecting 200 yards and 4 touchdowns again this week against a very good Buffalo Bills defense too, but totally understand riding it again because there's definitely a outcome where he is locked into the top 24 from here on out. I'm going to go back to with a guy like, honestly, if we're saying a guy who should be locked in the top 24, it feels like Brian Robinson should be locked inside the top 24. I don't care that he's facing the
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles right here. He's been a workhorse running back for this team so far. He's been balling out each and every week. And so I don't think there's much more to say on this one other than Brian Robinson has been everything and a lot more than what we wanted probably Gibson to be over the past couple of years. He's actually stepped up into this role. They obviously don't trust Gibson very much other than a couple of touches game. It's Brian Robinson's backfield.
Yeah, I looked at that one too. He was definitely my like if you didn't take A Chain there, since you didn't, I had to.
Yep.
B Rob was on my short list for sure. He's played very well. Gibson keeps putting himself in. I don't even call it the doghouse, but B Rob's done what he's supposed to do. B Rob does what that offense needs, and they're happy with him. He's going to keep doing that all season long. He's going to be a very consistent RB2 all year. If he gets some touchdowns, that's really what you're looking for, right? Like if those touchdowns do come, he should have the opportunity to absolutely have a monster week. So this is my last running back pick of the week, and I'm having a really tough time here. Like what it comes down to is, can I pick the right running back on the same team? And I want to go. The Denver Broncos have allowed 177 yards rushing a game. And I know that Bears offense is bad. I know Justin Fields is going to be a good chunk of that rushing game. So it really comes down to, do I want to start Roshan Johnson and see if he can continue getting some sort of workload and run in this offense, or is it going to go back to Khalil Herbert? And so I kind of just want to ride with Khalil Herbert. I think Khalil Herbert has enough of what he can do in kind of the screen game to get a couple pass catches. And if he can get the ball running, early, if he can get some chunk gains early, maybe they ride that hot hand. But he's still out snapping Roshan, but it is definitely a Khalil Herbert Roshan RBBC in this situation. I feel like if you have to start Roshan, you probably don't feel awful about it. But I think if you're trying to pick the right one, I'm going to pick Khalil Herbert.
I would go the same way. I expect this game to be a lot closer than their previous matchups have been, and Roshan's been getting
Yeah.
a lot of late work so far. It's still been Khalil Herbert on early downs and early in the game, and then they kind of just give Roshan hey, we're down by 40. Okay, you can run out there and take the rest of the work, I guess. So I would have gone Khalil Herbert there too. He wasn't my last one, but I do like the Khalil Herbert pick
Who's your
against
honorable
your
mention? I want to hear
Denver
an honorable
Broncos.
mention.
One that was the honorable mention for me was going to be actually from that same game. It was going to be Samaje Perine
Okay.
against a very bad,
Yep.
obviously with Javonte Williams in there. If it does get out of hand on that other side, it could be Samaje P. Ryan that fills in kind of like Roshan does in the second half, and P. Ryan could be getting a lot of the work there. So we're going to move into the wide receivers, though. And I'm going to do a little bit of gamesmanship here against you potentially, because there's one guy that is right outside the top 24 that I think you should take, especially with your quarterback that was taken. I'm going to deny you the stack of Tyler Lockett, taking it from you and pairing it up against in what I kind of think is going to be the highest scoring matchup on Sunday night. I'm going to take Tyler Lockett. It's obviously not paired, but I'm paired against the quarterback on the other side. So just trying to shoot for a high scoring matchup here.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I did think about Tyler Lockett. I don't. I'm not going to argue with you on that one at all. Um, but really, what it comes down to is there's a guy right next to him on that list that I was hoping you wouldn't take, and you didn't, and you left me Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton for this Denver Broncos against that awful Chicago Bears defense. They're bottom 3 in the league against the pass. Cortland Sutton has been a consistent target for Russ, and I don't think that that's going to change this week. So give me some Cortland Sutton against a awful Chicago Bears defense.
Feels like we picked the wrong Denver Broncos wide receiver every single year, doesn't it? I mean, we just if we like Jerry Jeudy, then it's Cortland Sutton who does well. If we like Cortland Sutton, then it's Jerry Jeudy who for some reason stays healthy and does well. Can't ever pick which one it is. Sutton's been balling out so far this year, though, and Russ looks competent as a quarterback. I'm not going to say he looks like Russ again, but he looks competent as a quarterback.
Just
So
no respect for Russ this year. He's played very well. He's not Russ of old, and I don't know what you expect at this point in his career, but like he's played very well for that team. It looks light years different than what it did last year. So again, a little bit of bias, but I do think that he's still getting a little bit of disrespect.
yeah, definitely so. But very well is a stretch. He might look very good tomorrow, or he might look very good this weekend, though, because it's a very very bad team.
Yes, it
So
is.
I'm going to move into my wide receiver too, and this one's going to be pretty far down there. Wide receiver 41 off the board right now, and I'm going to take a flyer in the high-powered Miami versus Buffalo game. Gabe
Ooh.
Davis, I think, could be a long throw dart to get one of those long touchdowns. And even better for why it could happen, he was on the Pat McAfee show Wednesday, whenever you all are hearing this. He was on there, and they have a bet on there that if he scores over a 69.5-yard touchdown, they will donate $70,000 to a charity of his choice. So, I mean, we're playing for incentives here. We've got to get that. But possibly even a better incentive is that the Buffalo Bills fans have had this thing going on lately,
Tradition,
and
we'll
their
call it a
tradition. I
tradition.
mean, they have a bunch of weird ones. They jump onto tables, they cover themselves in ketchup and mustard. But if you remember last year or 2 years ago now, they throw these things called dildos onto the field, and they've been talking, and what they really want for Gabe Davis is to take, if a fan throws one of those suction cup dildos onto the field, he's going to pick it up, put it on his helmet, and run around for his celebration. And honestly, if that happens, I win this game no matter what. I win this head to
Yeah.
head. Just it doesn't even matter what the score is. I win.
And I think the big thing to note here is Gabe Davis himself said he would pick that up and put it on his helmet and run around. Like
Yep.
that wasn't just like the McAfee show having a good time. Like he actually said he'd do it. So I kind of want it to happen just to see if he's a man of his word and if he actually goes out there and does it.
Come on, Bills
'Cause
fans. This is up to
that
you now.
yeah, don't let us down. Don't let us down. Love the pick. Just because of the touchdown, 70-yard touchdown, money donation for charity. Hope that does happen. Hopefully I do get an L on that one for this week. So my last wide receiver that I am going to choose, I'm actually going to choose and it's a little risky, but I'm going to take Adam Thielen going up
Yep.
against his old team in the Minnesota Vikings. He had a very good week last week. Anticipate them trying to get him involved and keep him involved. Minnesota's secondary has been atrocious. So give me some Adam Thielen against his old squad.
Honestly, if I didn't go for Gabe Davis just for the story, I probably would have gone for Adam Thielen. But I did have a question whenever I was pulling that one up. Who would you rather actually see at quarterback? Would you rather see Bryce Young, or would you rather see Andy Dalton, who he balled out with last week?
I mean, for the sake of this, I'd rather see Andy Dalton. But like, I think if healthy, I want Bryce Young out there. When it
Yeah.
comes out right down to it, I want Bryce Young out there. I do wish that he would target, Adam Thielen 14 times like Dalton did last week and give him 11 receptions. But now maybe Bryce has seen him do it. Maybe Bryce will key in on him a little bit more. So we'll see. It was Seattle too. Let's not forget.
Yep, definitely. So that definitely does help things whenever you're throwing for 330 yards as Andy Dalton. Normally doesn't happen every week. Let's get this show a little bit back on the rails after my last pick. I got to go back to a little bit of common sense and actuality in the real world. And this one is going to be a little bit of a kind of zig zag for me. We've got another high powered matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. It looks like that should be a high scoring affair. And at the tight end position, the only one who has caught touchdowns so far is Donald Parham. I'm going to go back to the other side with Mike Williams out. Maybe he's used a little bit more as a wide receiver. I'm going to go with Gerald Everett as my start of the week, thinking that he could be the guy, the tight end who actually catches the touchdown this week, and the guy who's actually scoring some more points, playing a little bit more as the split move Y for this week because of the lack of Mike Williams.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think it's a great matchup. I think it's a great opportunity now that there's going to be vacated targets in that offense. So he has been involved in weeks past, and so I do think that this would be a very good week for him to actually break out. Yeah, I like the pick. I'm actually going to get. I'm going to take a guy that's kind of quietly been very or pretty good. He's one of the only 2 tight ends that is actually hitting the Destination Devy NFL tight end trinity, and that is looking at some key metrics to find out where he's actually going to lie. But hey, he's got a 17% target rate this year. For whatever you want to consider this passing volume, 14%, air yard share. He does have some run after the catch per reception, so he's definitely in the same tier that he needs to be. I'm going to take Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet against this Denver defense, they got to throw to somebody. I do think Pat Surtain does have a better game. He got roasted this past week, just matching up against Tyreek. I think Pat Surtain does lock down DJ Moore, and I think Cole Kmet has his opportunity to get into the open space and hopefully get some targets, maybe get himself a touchdown. But yes, good old Cole Kmet. I'm taking
Look
a
how
Bears
ready
offense that I hate choosing, to be honest, man.
that is awful, and it's picking against your own team too. But you are stacking it with something on the other side. I do like that process as well. And look, I knew that one before he was even done finishing or finished going through all those stats because I read the stats every week on
Yes, you do.
destinationdevy.com. If you subscribe, if you sign up over there, you get access to all those articles. My weekly waiver wire report for Dynasty, digging through absolute trash for y'all that I do every week. But one of the other very good reports, anything that JB does is fantastic, but all of those usage reports for sure.
Yeah, those usage reports are awesome. Again, destinationdevy.com. Make sure you tap in. Cody does write the waiver wire ads, and there's not many people in the fantasy space that grind waivers like you do. So I will say that for a fact. He does deep dive. He does find not only the common ones, but you're also going to find you hit on the Brandon Johnson ones. Like you definitely have some good hits in those waiver wire pieces. So make sure you tap into destinationdevy.com. Read Cody's articles. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Trophy Chase TFDR. Cody's at Cody Smith TFDR. I guess it's on X now, whatever you want to call it. Like this video. Let us know your comments down below how crazy you think we are. Maybe there's some starts we're missing. But again, these are deep dives that we're hoping, outside of your core groupings that are actually going to have some monster weeks. So again, check these out. Like, subscribe, comment down below. And thank you so much for joining us here in the Fantasy Draft Room.